All right. Hello, everybody. Great to be talking to you virtually. Sorry that I can't be there to teach you guys in person. As I think I mentioned in class, I'll be heading to the countryside this week, so that's exciting. And I'm excited to be able to come back and teach you guys next week. So today we are going to be focusing on syllable stress and pronunciation. So we're going to start out talking about what a syllable is, then talk about what syllable stress is, and then lastly, learn a syllable numbering system. So if that sounds confusing to you right now, don't worry. My hope is that by the end of the lecture, you have a better understanding of what's going on. All right, so in order to understand what syllable stress is, of course, we first have to understand what a syllable is. So this word syllable has kind of a funny spelling, and it's a long word, but don't be scared. Syllables aren't too confusing. So a syllable is kind of like a chunk or a piece of a word. So for example, let's take a Mongolian word sen, right? Good. So sen. Sen has one syllable. Sen, right? Sen. Now we'll take the word for dog. Nahe, something like that, right? Nahe. Okay. That has two syllables. Nahe, right? Nahe. Okay. Let's take a longer word. The word for education in Mongolian. Batlevstral. How many syllables does that have? I want you all to try to guess. All right, if you said batlevstral, three syllables, that is correct. Okay, so a syllable is like a piece or a chunk of a word. So now I'm going to go back to English, which is obviously a little easier for me. So why don't I pick a one syllable word? Can you think of any? I'm thinking of dog. Dog. One syllable, right? Now let's think of a two-syllable word. Maybe a fruit that's red. Red fruits. Apple. Apple. My mouth opens twice, right? Apple. Apple. Two syllables. Okay, we can take a longer word. Let's do a three-syllable word. Three-syllable word. Let's do the word syllable. Syllable. Three syllables, right? All right. Does this make sense? I can't hear you. Hopefully you're saying yes. Okay. So I'm going to say a few words and I'd like you to try to guess how many syllables they have. All right, let's start. Horse. Horse. How many syllables does that word have? Horse. If you said one, horse. That's right. All right, let's do another one. Apricot. Apricot. How many syllables does that have? If you said three, apricot, that is correct. You got it. Okay, apricot. All right. Some of these might be too easy to count, so let's do a slightly trickier one. This word is supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. Okay, that was probably a little bit too hard. So why don't we try to break it down together? I need you guys to count for me, okay? Count for me. How many syllables is this? Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. How many syllables was that? 14, right? Is that 14? Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. Yes, 14 syllables. Okay. So if you got 14, good job. That is correct. So now we know what a syllable is, right? It's a piece of a word. We can count them by clapping or seeing how many times our mouth opens when we say the word. All right, so that's what a syllable is. Now it's time to learn about syllable stress. When I say syllable stress, I don't mean a syllable who has too much homework and is stressed out. No. When I say syllable stress, I'm talking about pitch. Pitch. What is pitch? Pitch is how high your voice is, right? A voice with a high pitch is like la, 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 up here. A voice with a low pitch is down here, la la la, okay? So, in a word, the syllable that is stressed is the syllable with a higher pitch. Okay, you might be a little bit confused, so let's look at some examples. Let's go back to the word apple. Apple. I want you to notice the pitch of my voice over each of the two syllables. So the word is apple, apple, da da, da da, apple. Okay? Which syllable has a higher pitch? Apple, apple. The syllable with a higher pitch is a, right? When I say apple, my voice starts higher and then goes lower. Apple, do do, okay? The syllable that is stressed is a. It's higher, okay? The A is stressed out. Apple, apple, okay? So, syllable stress, we're looking at which syllable is higher, okay? Which syllable is screaming? Which syllable is stressed out, okay? All right, let's talk about another word. Let's look at another word. Banana, banana. Which syllable is stressed out? Which syllable is higher pitched? Banana, banana. It's the second syllable, okay? Banana. All right, so I'm going to switch to drawing to show you how we can write out syllable notation. All right, everybody, the last thing to talk about today is a syllable numbering system, or a way to write down how many syllables a word has and which syllable is stressed easily. Okay, so this numbering system can be found on page 6 in your textbook, and it's important to learn because it will make it easier to keep track of syllables and syllable stress when you learn new words. Also, it's important to note that in past years, this has appeared on the final exam. All right, so here you can see I have two lines, and the first one is going to be used to write the number of syllables in our word. The second line is going to be used to write down which syllable is stressed. So let's return to our word apple again. Okay, apple. How many syllables does this word have again? Apple has two syllables. Apple, apple. So because we have two syllables, we'll write a 2 on that first line. Okay, so the second line should tell us which syllable is stressed. So do you remember which syllable is stressed? Apple. Which syllable is stressed out in screaming? Apple, apple. It's the A, right? The first syllable, the ah sound. So we will write a 1 on the second line. So I'm trying to stop this lecture from getting too long, so let's just look at one more example. Communication, communication. So we have this word communication. How many syllables does it have? Communication. Communication. Communication has 5 syllables. Communication. So we'll go ahead and write a 5 on this line. Now our second line asks which syllable is stressed. Which syllable do you think is stressed? Communication. Communication. Which syllable is higher? Da 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 da. It's going to be our fourth syllable, communication. So we will write a 4 on our second line. All right, so hopefully that made some sense to you. I would like you to try to practice this on your own at home this week. Um, so take a second, get out your notebooks, and try to use this notation for the following 5 words from our class so far. So I'll read it aloud and try to write down the number of syllables and which syllable is stressed using our numbering system. Okay, so first we have Hollywood, Hollywood, Hollywood. Next is projector, projector, projector. After that, we have interpersonal, interpersonal, interpersonal. Number 4, we have render, render, render. And then lastly, we have advertisement, advertisement, advertisement. All right, so give it your best shot. If you still have any questions about this next week, I'd be happy to review, but I'd like you to all try to practice this numbering system on your own. So I'll take a look at your notebook next week and you will get a participation grade. So please do this in your notebook and bring it in next class. So that's the end of our lecture today. So we started out talking about what a syllable is, then we talked about syllable stress. After that, you all learned how to take notes to write down number of syllables and syllable stress. I'm sorry again that I can't be there with you all in person this week, but I hope you were able to get something from this lecture. If you have any questions, you can email me. I might not have cell service the whole time, but I'll do my best to get back to you. So I'm so excited to see you guys next week. I hope you have a great week. And yeah, all right, bye everybody.